Welcome back to the Slightly Forgotten podcast. I'm your host, Wayne Manderson. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the place where we share experiences of veterans and service personnel and talk about the realities of service that's often forgotten. There's no scripts, just stories, truths from the people who lived through them. If you don't know already, I'm a veteran myself. My story's told in earlier episodes, but this is for others to tell their stories. And I know that everyone has their own unique story to tell. So today I've spent time with my guest, James Woodley. He's a former member of the RAF Regiment, definitely faced his fair share of challenges. And he's navigating through a lot of adversity while trying to make the best of what he has. Thanks for listening, and I really hope you enjoy the show.
Hello again, and welcome to the latest episode of the Slightly Forgotten podcast. I'm joined today with old friend of mine. It's been a long time since I've seen him face to face, but it's more than welcome sight. So, James Woodley, welcome to the show. We're gonna get deep into it and talk about everything that we've been through and everything. But as ever, we'll just kind of start with the normal introduction of yourself and what led you to get into the careers office in the first place, and just a bit about yourself. So over to you, mate. And just relax.
Yeah, I'm relaxed.
Okay.
So, I always wanted to be a fighter pilot when I was younger. I had an obsession with the Red Arrows. That was from a young age. But as I got older, I started becoming a little bit mischievous, I'd say. So I joined, with a lot of push and shove from my mum, joined the Spaceys, the Air Cadets. So I had a lot of knowledge from the RAF and used to go shooting and stuff like that. So I already had a lot of experience. So I finished school, which I hated, absolutely hated school. Finished that, went to college. I ended up doing a public services course, which covered all the public services, even down to going to play enemy for army on a camp. So that was quite good fun. Once I'd passed that, I then done a year at college again, doing a football coaching course. So it was FA level 2, I believe. But it was just wasting time, really, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I thought I was the big I am at that age, as a lot of young lads do. And that's when I saw the Afghan war kick off really bad. And it drove me to go down the careers office. So I literally signed up, and by this time I was a bit of a pretty boy. So I had all my hair gelled and earrings in and all that sort of stuff.
Still are a pretty boy. What are you talking about?
So I got given the option of firefighter or RAF Regiment. So I took the RAF Regiment side. The careers officer took the piss out of me because he said I'd have suited the firefighter because of my pretty boy looks and my hair and stuff like that. So, I was getting ribbed and getting the shit from the start, to be fair. But, I was 17 when I started my selection, I should call it. And then 2 days after my 19th birthday, I joined up.
It's very, very young. So all that background that you had in terms of, the Air Cadets and whatnot, all kind of led you to that.
Yeah, I would say.
So when you were on basic training, do you have any standout memory or memories from the first few weeks of getting in there?
It was intense. It was something that I didn't expect it to be how it was at all. Growing up, you see things on TV and sort of, it's going to be intense, but to be there from being 19 years old, living with mum, it's a shock to the system massively. I do remember breaking down and crying to my mum on a couple of occasions. One being in the utility room in the block, doing my washing because I didn't have a clue how to use a washing machine.
It's such a strange thing, isn't it? Because I spoke with Jamie Stinson last week, and he said something very similar. He joined at a similar age to what you did, and like just having that grounding would have set you in a good stead straight away, wouldn't it? But it's just something that you just take for granted that your mum or dad or whoever does this for you to a certain age, but then it's all just lumped on you all at once, and that on top of everything else is just a huge shock, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was everything, even like learning to iron. I mean, I say we had to learn to shave, but I was such a baby face for the first year I didn't have to. Every 3 days I'd give it a quick and I was done. So yeah, I mean, yeah, but it was a massive shock to the system, massive.
So do you have any points in that time that stuck out as memorable into whether it be struggle or just something that made you laugh at the time, or is it just all in general just a big struggle?
Yeah, it was all in general. I mean, there was definitely some funny times, like being in the room with, say, what was it, 12 lads, 16 lads. So there was definitely some characters about.
Another thing as well, obviously being at a young age, you're it's one of those where you finish PT, you're in a shower.
Yeah.
It's 30, 40, 50 naked bloke.
Yeah.
And you're like, I mean, I was a little bit older, but there's like 17, 18-year-old lads who are just like, don't know what the hell they're supposed to be doing. And it's just a combination of so many things, isn't there?
Yeah, it is. I mean, even down to the tiredness as well.
Yeah.
So at home before you're getting full night's sleep, like I can just remember still 2 o'clock in the morning, still ironing, trying to get my wardrobe sorted, and up at 4:30 for an inspection, and you just unreal.
Yeah, I had the joys of being senior man for a long time on the basic training course, and so I got to witness a lot of sorry excuses and a lot of made up excuses and stuff like that from people when they were getting inspected.
Do you remember? I think it was Corporal Donaldson.
Yeah,
was it Donaldson?
Yeah, it was Donaldson.
So by this time, my wardrobe and everything else, it's pristine, and I knew it was. So I'm stood to attention next to me bed, and he's got his hands in his pockets, looking through me wardrobe, and then, oi, come here. God, what's he found? So I've turned around, he's sort of moved all my clothes out of the way. What's that in the corner? Big pile of dirt, like dusty dirt, stone, and I knew that weren't there before. But he says, how's that got there? So, I don't know, Corporal. So, did you put that there? No, Corporal. Was it there before I came in? No, Corporal. So you're calling me a liar? You saying I put that there? You can't just say, yeah, you're a liar. Like you're sweating, like shaking, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? So he rips the whole lot out, everything. Got my decontamination powder, which was clay at the time.
Yeah.
Poured all over my uniform, tied it in knots. He made me hold one of the sleeves and was like, don't let go. And like we was playing tug of war with one of my number one shirts. And
yeah, it's a battle you can never win, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was one of the other lads that had been recalled, so I'm not sure who it was, basically told me, don't put that in the washing machine because it's clay. The powder's clay. So the moment you get water in it, it's like to undo the knots, lay it all out on the floor, and I sat there hoovering it for hours and hours and hours. Just inspected the next morning.
Yeah, it's always a nightmare, isn't it? So in general, during your time on basics, how did you find it in terms of physically, mentally draining? Obviously, the fatigue kicks in all the time because you're so deprived of sleep and stuff. But how did you cope with that?
So I've always been a person that likes to make a joke of everything. Everything has to be funny to keep the mood up, and I like it like that. So I used to look, funnily enough, it's strange, but I used to look forward to our theory lessons and just looking around and watching people falling asleep.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, can we say names?
Listen, I don't know if there's any rules or not, but I've been saying names on here, so let's just say
Yeah.
names.
So do you
I know
remember
what you mean, though.
Gurley?
I remember
Ron
Gurley, Ron
Gurley.
Gurley. Yeah.
Like, he was my morale in theory lessons because he used to try so hard to stay awake, but the face, it looked like he was having a stroke or something. Like, just there. So then you got people, you look around and you got people like nodding dogs, and I think I remember John Vogel was asleep on his chair and there was a radiator behind him and his head went back and he smacked his head on the radiator. I'm sure it was John Vogel. Yeah, just things like that. Like, no matter how tired I was, that used to keep me awake and be able to concentrate laughing at other people, like, but try not to get caught because, yeah, belly laughing.
I actually do recall that well, and I think I mentioned about that on my like story, and I said it
Yeah,
was like a fucking Jack in the Box, wasn't it? Like because
it
you were
was,
told to stand up, weren't you?
yeah, if
But
you
the
fall
amount of
asleep,
times,
yeah,
yeah, it's great. Like I say, it did provide a lot of morale out without a doubt.
mm.
Because you just you'd point to anyone, wouldn't you? And you go, "Oh, look at them!" And like you say, they're
Yeah.
dozing, and there's nothing they can
I,
do
I,
about it.
done it. I done it so many times, even to the point when you're writing notes and you sort of come to and you look up and you've written a load of absolute crap down the middle of your page. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
yeah. So obviously, tiredness was a big part of it, wasn't it?
It was,
Um,
yeah, completely exhausted.
so moving on to field craft and learning about the role and responsibilities and stuff. How did you deal with that? How did people, like you say, you always try to, another thing, sorry, you always try to find a positive way of doing things and stuff like that.
Mm.
Obviously, people are always dealing with different things and different levels of, again, we'll keep going back. The fatigue was a big part of it. How did people cope with you in that sense?
They didn't. I mean, I was Marmite, basically. I was Marmite. As a youngster, I mean, I was so immature, it's unreal. It's unreal. It was only when I got to the age of 30, 32, and I actually felt grown up. Like, it's strange to say, but at that age, 19, 20, 21, you think you're an adult. You think you're grown and well, I'm here now and this is what I'm doing. So you kind of get a bit of a bravado about you. But when you get to the age you are now and you look back, you think, what a dickhead. like certain times when I wish I'd have just kept my mouth shut rather than having an opinion or trying to take the piss or trying to make light of a situation. Like, just
Yeah, but
is what
that's
it
the
is.
level. Like it's a lack of maturity, isn't it? At that point, like you say, you think you're the big I am, but you've not experienced anything at that point. You're at the lowest rung,
Mm.
aren't you? But you kind of
No,
think
that's
that you
it.
know a bit more and stuff. And it's a struggle that younger people, I think, always will have because they've not got that maturity or level of experience in life to deal with scenarios. So I don't think you're alone. I just
Mhm.
think that you know the difficulties that you kind of all go through exacerbate that situation and make it appear worse. And that's where probably the Marmite thing came in for you, where people just didn't know how to deal with you. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I was senior man at the time, and I had my struggles with you. Don't get me wrong, but I had that maturity, so I knew how to cope with people, and
yeah.
it was never really a struggle for me. It was a struggle for a lot of people though, because like I say, you're dealing with so many things. It's just hard sometimes. So
I mean,
overall, looking back,
that was my way of dealing with everything. I mean, like I said, I was always the happy-go-lucky person. So when there was intensity or morale being low, me and myself, I don't like them sort of situations. So I suppose in a way that's how I dealt with it, to try and chirp up a little bit, So yeah, I feel like I'm my character's very addictive to the atmosphere that I'm around. If that makes sense.
Is that in a high and a low, would you say?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, my way to fight everything is just make a joke and take a piss if I can.
Yeah, just see how it lands. So do you look back on it fondly then, your time there? Because like you say, it was Marmite, but you tried to take the positives and things. Was it a fond memory?
I mean, I've got a lot of fond memories. But at the same time, I've got a lot of memories that I'd rather put in a box and leave it alone, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the lads, you can't fault any of the lads whatsoever. I mean, being with the lads when you're going through that sort of thing makes it all sort of not worth it, but you can deal with it a lot easier because you're not only one going through what you're feeling, and everyone's doing the same thing and you're all there for the same reason. So that gives you a little bit of coping, I suppose.
Yeah, a bit of comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll stick on basics for a little bit longer. Have you got any? Obviously, like I say, the word I meant to say this before, but we kind of digressed. How did you deal with the learning part of it? Because, like you say, you weren't particularly academic, or didn't like that side of school or that experience. So how did you cope with, I suppose, being dictated to so much, and how did that affect your learning process in basics?
So I feel like I just let it happen. I mean, we had no choice but to be dictated to. So I just sort of let it happen. And it's strange because you let it happen to the point where, I mean, we'll get onto it later, but when you get out, you're still waiting for someone to, like, what do I do now, sort of thing. So yeah, I mean, I never really struggled with it. And again, being in the Air Cadets, I knew of a rank structure and I knew how it worked. So yeah, I kept it quiet. I don't think I ever let anyone know that I was an Air Cadet.
I was going to say it's only been only the first time I've heard that, to be fair. But yeah, well done.
I kept that.
A lot of people have that as kind of a badge of honor, don't they? Like, it's, I was in the Air Cadet, so I know this and that, but it's completely different. The hierarchy and the structure, the chain of command and all that kind of thing. Yeah, but other than that, it's not really a good basis for moving into that, is it? But
not really. Not into the regiment anyway.
No. So moving on from basics then. How did that prepare you for moving into squadron life? And what was that transition like for you?
It wasn't good. So I got into a bit of trouble, didn't I, on field gunners? Went out on the lash and ended up in the back of a police wagon.
You want to tell us about that?
So I think deja vu. We'd just left and we was walking along the road to the taxi rank, me, Cookie and Timo. And there was an argument to the right-hand side of me, and this girl, she was quite a big girl, but she fell over onto her knees. And out of nowhere, this man just booted her in the face. Like, fully booted her and, like, volleyed her in the face. And I'd had a skinful. And again, it came into it, me thinking, like, again, big I am. So I chased him. And I don't know if you remember Bury St Edmunds. Do you remember where the Halifax was?
Not really. I can't remember, to to be honest now.
So it got to sort of like opened up into a square in front of the Halifax, and I tripped him up. And as he went down, I booted him. And the woman's boyfriend followed on behind me, and we beat him up basically. Blue lights come round the corner. I've sort of stepped back. Police have got out like, what's happened? What's gone on? So they've gone up there, mate. So two of the police have gone running off. One of them stayed there, and he's come over and grabbed me on the shoulder. And he said, "Can you look up there, please, mate?" And I looked up, and there was a CCTV camera. And I heard him in his ear, and he was, "Yeah, that's him." And that was me done.
So you think that again plays the immaturity kind of plays into that, the fact that you felt you had to get,
the drink. Well,
yeah, it can be a devil on our shoulder, can't it? Really?
Yeah, it can. Yeah. And I mean, where things were so intense, we were kept in that cage, not allowed off camp. And when we finally did get loose, we went wild. And I mean, as young lads, is what young lads do, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've mentioned it before about like levels of testosterone and trying to outdo each other and stuff like that. And it is apparent, like but I don't know how that could be controlled. Like say, you have to have a level of freedom, don't you?
I mean, in my opinion, I should never have been allowed to join up with that level of immaturity. I mean, yeah, no way.
My thought on that is that being allowed in at that point is so that you can be molded into what they want you to be. But we're not robots, you know, we all have different personas, different backgrounds, different characteristics, and you can't all be molded to the same kind of person that they maybe want you to be. And it is a struggle for people. Exactly. So, like you say, it was a bit of difficulty. How was you received then on the squadron?
As a prick. I mean, everyone called me the Cockney Wide Boy. I don't know if you can remember that.
I can't remember, but
it was there was a lot. I had a lot of shit. I mean, looking back, some of it was a bit much. I mean, one of the lads, we was doing Friday Fizz, and I don't know if you remember, we used to load the trailers up with greenies and push them around the airfield. And we were doing that, and I took over at one point, and one of the lads grabbed me around the throat for no reason whatsoever. And a couple of the senior lads basically is like, "You ever touch him like that again, you're going to have to deal with me." So I always looked up to them two lads, just for that reason. Because I mean, I knew I'd made a mistake, but I didn't realise that would carry over onto squadron, and it'd give me the grief instantly, if you know what I mean, because I've been in trouble.
Especially when people don't fully understand the background, they don't know you, they don't really have any kind of reason for doing that other than hearing what they've been told or what they may have heard. That's probably gone 3 or 4 times different stories to the time that they got them. Yeah. Well, you know, at least you kind of had the understanding from that it wasn't acceptable with the two guys who pulled them up on it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get
with them.
Yeah, you're always going to get dickheads, aren't you? Regardless of what walk of life you come from.
Yeah. That's something that took me a while to work out as well. And obviously, the amount of on the bus, off the bus, and the waiting around, and the uncertainty, like the hours wasted sat around pissing about in the hangar, like sometimes that was a nightmare. So that to drive me mad, especially on a Friday.
Yeah, wanting to be anywhere but there.
Yeah.
So obviously, you're on squadron. We start preparing for a tour. Did you have any particular thoughts going into the tour, or was there any trepidation? Or
I was anxious, but didn't know what to expect. obviously, where Iraq had been going on, some of the lads on Soggies obviously had done a couple of tours by then, so it was like, yeah, it's fine, like nothing ever happens, and giving it all the spiel and blah blah blah. So you kind of, it lightens it a little bit. But the day you go in, it's surreal. Like you sort of, I look back on it now and I think, I can't actually believe I did that. Like, yeah, and then landing in Iraq for the first time, and my first memory of that is the smell of shit. Like, honestly, like stepping off the plane, the heat hits you with the smell, and you're like, my God. Like, yeah.
Yeah, we weren't too far from a local tip, were we?
No,
The base.
no, they everything, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my first memory of Iraq. The heat and the smell.
And the lasting memory as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, the shit seemed to come as the thing with war, mate, because it was the same in Afghan, weren't it, with Poo Pond?
I forgot about that. I actually forgot about that. Yeah. So that's another challenge on top of the heat and all the dirt and everything else that you kind of have to contend with.
I mean, you go nose blind to it after a while, and you just get used to it, and you don't smell it anymore.
No,
I mean, but
no.
yeah, I mean, the tour was quite fun to start with. I mean, going abroad, driving around somewhere, you're not expecting anything to happen because obviously you're just a sprog. You're only 6 months, sort of, to a year out of training. So you listen to your peers, and they were saying, like, obviously, yeah, it's easy. Don't do this, don't do that. You've got nothing to worry about. So then when things start stepping up, you sort of, it takes you back a little bit. No, and obviously the rockets landing here, there, and everywhere. Driving in from patrols up the main road and having to pull over, shut the hatch, and get in because rockets landing left, right, and centre. And yeah, it just got worse and worse as the tour went on, I feel.
Yeah. So I mentioned previously that I kind of went there, not with, you're aware of the threat, you're aware of that it is real, but it just seemed, like you said there, it didn't seem to sink in that it was so close, so real, really, until obviously, bad things started to become really, the level increased, the activity increased, and things obviously got closer and closer. So it was only really at that point where I started to take the threat really seriously, which is, I know it's naive, but it was just kind of my mindset at the time. And like you say, again, even looking back now, I look back on it and I'll think, fucking hell, can't believe I went through that. I can't believe I did that.
No, it doesn't feel real, does it?
No, it seems like another world. Honestly, it does, and it's I always have it in my mind, obviously, what went on and everything. But yeah, it does seem completely separate to where I am now and what I'm doing now. But it's still difficult nonetheless.
Yeah.
So overall, that was a particularly difficult tour. How did you deal with it mentally?
I didn't. I mean, I don't feel like we had a chance to. I mean, after everything happened, we were straight back out to work, back patrolling, weren't given any time to process anything whatsoever. So if someone got injured, if someone got killed, if you didn't have time to process things. I mean, they took us to the Padre and sat us down, but again, I used to like going to see the Padre because it felt like it was a piss take. because it was just a bit of time off to have a laugh with the lads. Like, yeah.
It was just a break, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a break. Yeah, it was a break. You didn't take it seriously. You didn't sit there and listen to what he was saying and think, yeah, that's me. That's exactly what's going to happen to me. You take it with a pinch of salt. You don't listen to it, and you sit there laughing at someone farting at the right time as he's talking. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, yeah, it's just things like that. You don't process anything until you're hot.
When it all kicks in. So you say that you never dealt with it. Are you still dealing with it? Is it still something that you try?
Every day. I mean, 2019, I finally gave in and got some help. So I had 5 years of help from 2019, and I'm still on pause now. So I've got a nurse that if I want to go back, I've just got to send an email, and she can book me an appointment and do some more work with me and stuff like coping strategies. But yeah, so first time it become apparent that something might not be right. So obviously, for everyone listening, there was the rocket attack in Basra. I saw it in front of I was in the snatch at the time as the rocket landed. Saw it collapse and then blow out. So obviously we've spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, but for people that are watching now, I saw the Lions get hit with a rocket and called it in on a radio instantly. Got out the snatch, body armor and helmet on still, grabbed the first aid kit and ran towards the Lions entrance, where I was met by, I can never remember whether it was Ridders. I'm sure it was Corporal Ridet. So he took the med pack off me, went running in with the rest of C flight, I believe, which is when a couple of our lads we was on basics with came walking out. Not having a clue what had happened, in complete shock, white faces, like the blood had drained out their faces completely. They were sat down on the side to one side, and by this time obviously the medic tent weren't far from us, so medics were there on site at that time, so they were starting to deal with the injured while we were going through the rubble. So what I remember is me, Eric Telford, and I'm sure he was American or he might have been Canadian, so it just appeared out of nowhere. Don't know where he come from, but we were on top of the Hesco. And Phil Kimber, one of the Oggies, was on the bed, and the bunk bed had curled round him to the point he was stuck. He couldn't get out. So you got Ben Walton putting a tourniquet on his arm, and me and Eric and this American or Canadian, don't know how, but we bent the bed back normal to get him out. Adrenaline. Yeah, we pulled him out basically. So then it gets a bit organised after this, and people start doing stints. So they say, right, lads, you've been in there 15 minutes, come out, have a fag, have a bit of water, let these lot go in, and vice versa. So we're all sat on it's like a concrete wall, wasn't it, where the stags used to separate vehicles.
The blast. Oh yeah, the big, yeah, the
yeah
blast walls, but they're just solid concrete, aren't they?
Yeah. So I can see the image perfectly. Sat on this concrete having a fag, and I don't know who it was, but they pulled a body out, and covered him with blue roll. And we're all sort of sat there looking at each other like, what the fuck? Sort of speechless, taken back. You can't even explain it. Cannot explain it. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail because it's not a nice thing to be talking about for anyone even to listen to. So yeah, there's just it was all going on, even to the point of then being handed yellow bags, biological bags for bits and pieces, like, to then 2 hours later back out on patrol like nothing's happened.
Yeah. So there was no time to process it.
Nothing.
No discussions, no
No.
support,
Well,
no nothing.
we got pulled out of the TV room to be told who was injured, who had died, who was missing, if whatever, given all the gen that we needed, and then sent on our way.
Yeah. And that's obviously stuff that you've been dealing with for the 5 years you've mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, so it started on QRF. So if you remember, it was like a little porter cabin, and there was 12 beds in there, all sort of squashed together, and we'd live in it for a week. And one night I had a nightmare, and I literally sat up, and it was like I was hallucinating. The whole ceiling had collapsed in. There was dust everywhere, like fires smouldering, but no one was in their beds. So I've jumped out my sleeping bag, stood up, and it's like, as I've blinked, everything's gone back to normal, and everyone's in their beds. Nothing's wrong. It's fine. So I just sort of sit back down, get back in my sleeping bag, roll over, try and process what I've just seen, and go back to sleep to try and forget about it, and obviously carry on the next day. So that was the first time I really may have thought that something was up, but brushed it off, as you do. That was the first time I sort of had that sort of issue, but like I said, you brush it off, and while you're there doing that job, there's not really anyone that you feel you can talk to about what had just happened. So I didn't say nothing. And I mean, obviously, things happened over the rest of the tour, the next tour, to actually me getting out and being told that I've got issues.
So obviously, that was in 07. At what point did you kind of recognise, like you say, you understood that things were going on in your head, but at what point did you recognise that it was like a serious problem? How long have you dealt with it for and just brushed it under the table?
2019, mate, when I finally made that phone call to speak to someone.
For 12 years of struggles until you kind of allowed yourself to acknowledge it and let others kind of.
I denied it. There were times in life with my mum, she'd be telling me, you need help. You're not the same person anymore. And I used to say to her, what do you expect? How can I be the same person? I've been in there, broken down to be built up to something that I don't even recognise. So yeah, I mean, it was almost like I was a different person. So it was just a, well, what do you expect, like, kind of attitude, and again, brushed it off.
Yeah, that's undoubtedly the most difficult thing that you dealt with throughout that time in the forces. I mean, obviously the struggles continued afterwards, but
100%.
Yeah. So how long after the tours was it until you got out? Like you got out soon after me, I believe.
Yeah, so we just got back from Afghan, and that was me done. I was done. I asked for my papers and was told 18 months, in which I'd be going on another tour unless I was posted. I believe actually that might have been in Afghan, because we had the opportunity to be posted. So yeah, I took the posting to the FP Centre. Felt like it was an easy ride. Just to then do my best to get out. And I'm not proud of how I got out, but I failed a drugs test purposely. I'll quite happily say that. I mean, I wasn't waiting at that point. At that point, I'd totally had enough. Totally had enough. I couldn't care how it happened at all. I couldn't care less. I had that attitude. So I was pleased when I got.
With sense of desperation.
I think so. Yeah, I think with growing up as well at the same time and realizing, like, have I wasted my youth? Am I in the right place? Should I really be here doing this? And I mean, it comes after years and years. Even start from basics. The questions start when you're on basics, and you're questioning yourself days, every week, and it goes on until the day you get out. I mean,
so what when you say
even
what
everyone else, I mean, we had the option, didn't we, to get paid. If you sign this piece of paper, we'll give you 10 grand, but we've got to tax it first. And then what they don't tell you is that they separate it out in your wages, so you don't get the lump sum. They separate it out in your wages, so you get an extra 40 quid a week or something. So yeah,
hardly an incentive, is it?
Yeah, but they don't tell you. They don't tell you that, Wayne.
No.
But yeah, so
I was going to say I never knew that, but that offer never appealed to me, really.
Yeah,
at that point.
Yeah, no, it was no trouble.
Yeah, so you got to a point of desperation. You felt that you know what you'd been through had culminated to this feeling, and you just wanted out, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I was in Iraq for my 21st birthday, so by the age of 21, I don't feel, in my opinion, I don't feel anyone should have seen or done what we did at the age I was. And I mean, there was younger lads there as well.
Whoops. I'll deal with that after.
Was that glass smashing?
Yeah, that's me smashing things up. Never mind. We'll carry on.
Yeah.
The dogs aren't here, so I don't need to worry about them stepping in it right now.
I mean, I could tell you a story of smashing things.
Go on then. Off you
go. Entertaining. Hive and lid. Basic training.
Sorry. Just one sec. You just start again because it just shut off a second there. Your computer.
So hive and lid during basic training. You get put in them horrible little asbestos sheds.
Yeah.
With the beds up both sides. And we ended up having, I think it was an American football. And I can't remember who had it, but we were throwing it backwards and forwards and at each other and everything else. And I managed to throw it and smash one of the lamps. So, you know, the long tubey lamps?
Yeah.
So I smashed one, cleaned it up, threw it away. Everyone was in agreement. Shut your mouth. Don't say nothing, because if I admit it, we're all going to get in the shit, because that's how it was. So, yeah. All gets tidied away. We do a couple of days on the ranges, and I get called out by Corporal Sweeney, asking me what happened to the light. So I'm sitting there thinking, who's grassed? Who's grassed on me? Well, in fact, who's grassed on everybody? So I managed to say I picked the ironing board up a bit high, and the leg twatted it and smashed it. Like, I'm sorry, it was an accident, and everything else. So anyway, he told me who grassed, and happened to be Trotter.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you know. Well, I didn't know, Corporal. I just thought I'd tell him just so we didn't all get in trouble, Corporal. You know, it was just, that's right.
Oh, what a guy! What a guy!
Yeah, what a guy! I mean, I think you might have even remembered. We used to wear the baby grows, didn't we?
Yes.
And we had, I think it was 2 or 3 of them in our wardrobes.
Yeah.
And he'd forgotten to clean one of his, so decided to stuff it in the bottom of his Bergen. Nobody knew this. We found this out as we were being inspected, and I'm pretty sure you were head boy then. So someone, whoever it was, had noticed he was one missing. So they started looking for it, and they found it in the bottom of his burger. And it was filthy, covered in mold, dirt, and whose is this? I don't know, Corporal. How's that in there? I don't know, Corporal. just
Oh,
trot down in the press up position. I was, mate. And then as again, you're trying not to absolutely wet yourself because you're going to join him if you make one little sound.
yeah.
But mate, yeah.
It was the hardest. One of the hardest things I had to deal with. That going round and listen to like the worst excuses, or I don't know. Like I don't. What do you mean you don't know? It must have been in there for weeks to get mold. What was he doing? But yeah, every time I had to hold it in, it was such a hard thing. But then as soon as they go, you just let loose, and then it's when you're doing like your GSK in the classroom and stuff, it all comes out, doesn't it? And it's just you're absolutely howling at it. But
who was it? Gilmore threw Richie's bed out the window. Was it Gilmore?
probably. I don't know.
Off it went, mate, and just.
It's so disheartening, can't it?
Yeah.
In fact, going back to that smashed glass, is that the time where they started to make us do leopard crawling, like the length of the football pitch? Then we had to do laps, and then another length. Like
somebody lost a weapon, but it turned out it was one of the 4001 lads, and we got the blame.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so it wasn't any of us, was it? Yeah.
And we ended up doing about 40 lengths of this football pitch on our elbows. Like bleeding.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm still scarred from that, actually.
It wouldn't surprise me, mate. It was unreal.
Yeah. But yeah, like you say, you laugh about it later, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what you can do.
Yeah.
So anyway, right, so...
Square of Death, do you remember that?
Square... Oh, I do, yeah. That's where you do... it's where they do different positions, in it, and
they put 4 trees in the bushiest, stinging, nettliest, thorniest place they can find, and then get you into like 4 groups, and you have to do different fire positions and different movements, but you're going through the thorns, through the stinging nettles, and by the time you're finished, there's nothing left. It's just dirt.
I don't know if you know much about it now. Like I want to get someone on who's been in quite recently, because obviously I can't
be allowed to be doing any of that now.
No, because I think it kind of makes you, doesn't it? In a perverse kind of way, it does make you.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes you even stronger.
You go to NBC training. We were getting absolutely beasted in our respirators, full kit, up and down, pork pie. Like, do you remember that word, pork pie? Yeah. Like, sends shivers.
Ooh. Oh God.
Yeah, so and then we had one of the sergeants up in the 159.
Didn't someone throw up in the respirator?
Yeah, I think it was Lucas Paul. Do you remember Paul?
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. I'm
pretty sure it was him, and he was trying to get the sick out, and they were screaming at him, "Don't you dare take your respirator off, pork pie!" I'm just like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it was the joys, eh? Yeah, it was. But like I say, it makes you stronger. It does make you stronger.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I say, I'd love to see if or what levels they can kind of take it to now. Whether or not it's anywhere near what we were going through or previous generations, it'd be interesting to hear. But like I say, I kind of want to try and get someone on to explain like what they have to go through now. So anyway, right? So
go on.
Because
I want to know if they still do the Iron Man in the gas chamber.
Oh, God knows.
Was you on our course when we did the CS gas?
Yeah, I was the first one who got it done to them. Who took the mask off. I was the first one on the course, so I got to see. I got out obviously once you go through it, rank and then I think Gilmore asked me who I supported, started talking about Man United, and then it hit me. I was just like, I just couldn't take it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I've gone out and I've seen everybody's reaction to it, absolutely everybody's. And you're told to go out and go like this, aren't you?
Yeah,
And
that's
people
it.
are coming out and they're going, ah, like
Not
absolutely.
everywhere.
Honestly, it was one of the funniest things. I felt so lucky that I was the first to like, so I got to see everybody. But then you had the lucky fuckers who were like immune to it, weren't you?
Well, that's why was there again. I'm sure it was Fraser Barton, and John Vogel. And
Yeah.
I'm sure they were the ones that were basically immune to it because they made them stay in there, didn't they? The longest, so you could do it the longest.
They were doing press ups and stuff. I'm sure they were in there. I
All
might be
sorts
wrong.
of pumps and everything.
Yeah,
I'm sure they was. Yeah. I
yeah,
just
it's an
remember.
experience that.
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah,
That was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I only had to do it that once because I didn't fancy it too often. But yeah. So anyway, let's go back to where we were. So you've got out, obviously through the reasons that you went through and the difficulties that you were dealing with at the time. What was it like for the first few months out for you? What was that change of I suppose environment for?
It was bliss. It was bliss. I mean, I don't know if they knew, but I was still getting paid for like 6 months after I got kicked out. So I was just doing what I should have done years ago, if you like, sort of doing what I wanted. It was only when the money ran out that it hit home, and I thought, hang on a minute, I'm in a bit of trouble here. I've got to go and find a job, and I need to earn some money, and be able to live again.
So did you have any kind of support when you got out in terms of learning or courses or anything? No, was it just cut off because of the reasons? Or
although I got kicked out, it was a medical discharge. I mean, for whatever reason, I'm unsure. But I do know in the papers there was a lot going on during them times that a lot of the lads were failing the drugs tests to get out. Basically, it was in the news and stuff. So whether it was put down as a medical discharge for numbers, I'm unsure. But yeah, it didn't get put down as a dishonourable discharge, so it was medical.
So it was quite an easy change for you in that sense because you had the comfort of the wage for however long, and then. So what did you do after that then? After that had run out,
I went to work in a factory called Baxter's, and it was basically producing and bagging up saline drip bags, and it was underground on a production line. So I was picking up bags of water and sliding it into a bag, and like for 9 hours a day with 15-minute break and stuff like that. And I think I lasted about 6 weeks before I got the sack. Because
why was that?
I couldn't deal with it. I hated it. I couldn't sit still. I mean, before I got kicked out, I got told by one of the doctors that they thought I had ADHD. It's never been diagnosed. I was just told by a doctor that I have ADHD traits. So whether it was that, I don't know. I mean, I've always been an active person. So whether it was just standing still for so long or being in the same place, doing the same thing, the monotonous job of in a bag, out a bag, in a bag, out a bag, in a bag, like, couldn't deal with it. Could not deal with it. Couldn't deal with it, mate.
So at that stage, I kind of brushed this under the carpet a little bit, but when you did leave, did you remain in touch with people, or did you have? How did people react to that situation when you did leave? Were people aware of it, or were they?
Yeah, they was aware of it. Yeah, it's just no reaction whatsoever. I was nobody's problem but my own, so can't see why there would be a reaction. To be fair, I mean, it's what I chose.
Fair enough. Basically,
I mean, feel like there was a few people that looked down their nose for me, at me for doing it. Not sure why. I mean, unless they're proper green through and through, sort of thing. Like, yeah, unsure.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Just thought I'd ask that.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I didn't really pay attention to anything, to be honest with you, Wayne. I mean, I was that desperate to get out. I literally didn't care. I think I had 6 weeks on camp from going to stand in the commanding officer's office to be told that I failed a drugs test to walking out the gate and handing my ID over. I think it was about 6 weeks. It was quick. And yeah, I literally didn't care to the point I didn't go into work. What's the point? I'm getting out. We've got 6 weeks. Why? What am I going to do? I'm not allowed to do anything. You're not allowed to touch weapons. You can't touch any, like, obviously where I was in the NBC centre, I couldn't touch any of the equipment that we'd use. I weren't allowed to do anything. So I was, why am I going to work? I grew my hair to the point it weren't regulation. I was being told to cut it, and I was telling officers bollocks. Like, I didn't care. Didn't care.
Yeah, you just got to the point.
Yeah, I just did not care. And I mean,
Is there anything?
I was having issues outside of work at the same time as well. So I had a missus at the time who I'd caught basically cheating on me. Turns out that the kid I'd been looking after for 3.5 years wasn't mine. So I went into sort of disruption mode, I suppose. Just didn't care about anything, if you know what I mean. It was
on
sort
top of all the other difficulties.
I always had a gut instinct, and it was weird because I'd always said something, and I said something to this girl's mother and all, and she was like, "Oh, don't be so silly." So I always just thought, am I being just paranoid? But then when I found out the kid wasn't actually mine, from that moment on, I've listened to my gut every single time, and it's never been wrong.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with, like, you say?
It was a relief, mate. Relief. It was relief.
What caused you then to go into this disruptive mode that you mentioned then?
I just
if you relieve that, yeah.
I just
so that kind of was a different feeling to the military feeling. It was just both, or
it was life in general, Wayne. It was
right.
So I was sick to death of being at home because, for obvious reasons, I was sick to death of being at work. So I wanted rid of everything. I wanted to start again. I didn't want no ties with nothing, nobody, anything. And I wanted to start again because the last 4 years had been a nightmare, basically. And I mean, a reset was the only way I could see a way out.
Sounds like it was a pretty lonely time that back then. Then, did you have anyone who you could lean on, or?
Again, I mean, not really, because I made the same mistake again, and I ended up. What's the word I'm looking for? No, I wouldn't say disowning my family, but I thought they were against me because I'd in a new relationship that they didn't agree with again. And again, I had this big bravado on me, like, I know what I'm doing. I'm old enough to make my own decisions. Don't take no advice from anybody. And yeah, it got to that point, and I just went into explode, mate. I just rebelled against everything that had happened in the last 4 years, to the point where I haven't been clean shaven for God knows how long. It's just a rebellion thing, to the point where it's crazy.
So what was the point that kind of dragged you out of that then?
Out of what? The loneliness and the down.
Yeah, like you say, you were in a disruptive mode. You know, you I suppose, sabotaged your time in the forces. You know, you
Mhm.
had that separation from your partner, from your family, sorry, your immediate family, and then obviously you was
Yeah.
with a partner at that time. What got you out of that?
So I was in Thetford to start off with. I stayed up where RAF Honington was because I'd met my children's mother. We then moved back down to Kent where, because I wasn't doing so good at Thetford, I couldn't find a job. There was nothing around because it was such, I don't know if you remember, it's such a little place.
Yeah.
Um, a car wasn't an option, so I had to find something local. But it never happened. And I had a mate down here that was in the electrical trade. And he basically said to me, look, if you come back down here and live down here, I can get you a job to sort you out. So at my first opportunity, I did. I come down here, started working. So my work life was getting better, but my private life, shall I say, my relationship just spiraled out of control again. Had my 2 kids with her, and things come to an end. I mean, I then moved back to my hometown and got myself a place and concentrated on myself because I'd felt that ever since from joining up to leaving my children's mother, I felt like my life was still dictated. Whether I was looking for that dictation because that's what I was used to, unsure. But yeah, I'd had enough. I'd finally woken up, shall I say, and thought this ain't right. How I've been treated, how I've been living, it can't go on. So I turned my life around, mate. I had a flat. I worked all the hours God sent. I had to go to court to see my children, but that all worked out fine. I ended up getting granted access to them whenever I wanted, basically. And then after sorting myself out, feeling stable, happy in myself, I met my missus, and it's where I've been 12 years later. Here I am.
So you took control, and it was for the best in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I mean,
Recognised it. And
yeah, I mean, if I didn't have my missus, I wouldn't have been able to do it alone. She's
that's your current partner. Yeah.
yeah. She's unreal. Don't know how she puts up with me sometimes.
Yeah, I think we're all in that same boat sometimes. But you need like that kind of anchor, don't you? I mean, I know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and something maybe completely separate from what you had. Like you said, you had that partner in Thetford, which would always keep you linked to that area and Honington and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that separation and your new partner just gave you that freedom to be who you should be, and like I say,
Yeah.
give you that control back in your life that you'd been lacking for so long.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Yeah,
are you up to
definitely.
currently then? What's your life looking like now?
I'm very happy, comfortable. I mean, as you know, I got injured in 2008. Ended
Do you
up
want to
in
touch on
hospital.
that at all?
Yeah, so we were doing pre-deployment training for Afghan in Ballykinler, Northern Ireland. And we were doing, I think it was range day, and we had to do, I think it was a 2.5 mile run, and then the range from 400 meters down to 100 meters. And I was an LMG gunner, unfortunately. So we'd done the run, and as we got back, I started feeling a niggle in my back, and it was taking my breath away. But we'd done the run. We got back, and we had 2 or 3 minutes before we were going down range. And Kev Ford basically took all my kit off me, done some stretches with my back, tried to make it comfortable, and just to get the range over and done with. So we done the range, in and out of trenches, respirators, all the way down to 100. Got to the 100 meter point, and we were told to unload. As I've gone to pull my cocking handle back, I couldn't. The moment I put any force on anything, I couldn't breathe. it was so strange. I started dribbling, I couldn't breathe, and I just sort of rolled over and just laid on my back until someone come running over. So then I was taken to the hospital, which was, God, that was a episode in itself, mate. Having to have someone sat next to me. I was stripped off all my clothes, obviously being in Northern Ireland. I was stripped off. I was in my pants and my socks under a blanket in hospital because they took all my uniform away and didn't want anyone to know I was in the military. But I had lads sat next to me bed on stag with a Browning pistol down their trousers and nobody knew about it. Like, armed guard, mate. Like, yeah. I was completely...
All for you.
All for me, mate, yeah. All for me. Until I could get transferred to a military hospital. But yeah, so I've done all that, got rehab, ended up going to Afghan, but it come back to bite me in the arse a few years ago. I mean, it was never fixed. My back was never repaired, or it caused headaches. I could sneeze and be up the sofa for 2 weeks, full of drugs and prescriptions and just everything. To a point where my hands and my shoulders and my arms started going numb and getting pins and needles. So ended up going to doctors, hospitals, scans, MRIs, and they said that I've got lacerated discs, protruding discs, and it's pushing on my main spinal column, which was all from this injury. So progressively got worse and worse over the next few years until there was like, so what it was, I went for an MRI. 3 days later, I was phoned up and told to go to A&E. And they put me on blocks so I couldn't move, laid there, admitted me to a ward, referred me for surgery, and they let me go home. So I'm not sure if you can see it on there. I've got a scar going across here where I had to have two. Yeah, I had to have 2 discs replaced that they go in through the front. So in the meantime, the trauma of all of this has travelled down my spine and caused something called spondyloarthritis. So I now have to inject myself every week with autoimmune suppressants that kills off my immune system to stop my bones from fusing together so quick.
So you're susceptible to illness and...
Yeah, infections and all sorts. Yeah.
So you've had to deal with that during the forces and since the forces.
Yeah, and it got worse. I had surgery in 2021. And it didn't fix the problem because the 2 that they replaced, the one above it and below it, have now moved as well.
Is there any fix for it, or are you just kind of stuck with it?
I'm stuck. There's no fix to the point. I'm with I've got a neurologist who is at the moment basically doing tests to find out which nerves are damaged, because nerves they can't be repaired.
So how does this affect you on a daily basis then?
I got signed off work 3 years ago. And to be fair, I was a Sparky at the time, and my job was, they were good. My company were good. They give me every chance to come back. I mean, I did a couple of times, but it didn't work. I got told by the doctor I shouldn't be driving because if I had an impact that was bad enough, I could be paralysed from the neck down because of where the discs were pushing on the column. So I had to get signed off work, and I haven't been back since, mate, to be honest. I'm still in and out of NHS hospitals, testing, treatment. But I mean, it's 6 months, each appointment, 7 months apart. And then COVID.
Yeah, it's a lot to take. How do you deal with that? Because obviously, is it kind of an acceptance of what, you can't do anything about it, you just have to like it and lump it? How do you deal with that?
At the same time, I hate the regiment even more for it.
Is that because there was no acceptance or acknowledgement that it was actually, a substantial injury that should have been dealt with properly?
Yeah, they didn't deal with it properly. So they masked the issue to get me back on duty. So, I mean, they've got to have fixed it to some degree, but the diagnosis they gave me was nothing. According to my doctor, it doesn't exist. So I got told by the military nurse, so if you've got your spine and my fingers are the ribs, 2 of my ribs went like this, apparently, and had to be manipulated back into place. But the whole 2 ribs, all the way round, had come out and dropped. And yeah, my doctor said that's never happens. I've never heard that before in my life, and I can't see how that would have happened.
I don't know how you manage that, to be honest. I don't know how you could deal with that.
No, my doctor, because the company I was working for, we had private healthcare at the time, so I completely utilised it. And they found a crack on one of my vertebrae where my discs are broken or protruding. So they put that down to the same injury.
And it's obviously just accumulated and got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. I mean, the MOD tried to blame it on genes to say that because the arthritis that I've got can only be getting by trauma or genes. And I had the gene test and I haven't got the gene for this illness. So it can only come from trauma. So when I suppose I've had to look through all my hospital notes and there's no other sign of any trauma to my back. So it was inevitable that it was that, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I deal with back issues. I mean, nowhere near to the extent of what you're telling me, but I obviously there are days where I'm struggling and stuff like that. So I genuinely can't imagine like what you've gone through and what you had to go through. So credit to you for that, and keeping a smile on your face most of the time. So
that's what I always do, mate. Try to smile about it.
Yeah.
I mean, even like you must remember the mortar carder and the machine gun carders. Like the weights that we used to carry were unreal.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Obviously, this injury happened before that, so or at a similar time at least. So to deal with that and then having to lift those weights.
Was it after that?
It would have been around the same time, wouldn't it?
I'm pretty sure. Didn't we do the machine gun carder and the mortar carder, and then we went on pre-deployment training to Ballykinler?
Oh, so it was before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even still, like you say, you have to patrol with all this gear on, don't you? And, you have to still do the tabs, and yeah. So there's a lot of a lot of pressure added to that, part of your body that you should just never have been put in a position to have dealt with, from the sound of it. So yeah, I mean, it must have been horrific.
The tabbing situation, like even down to the 10K march that we did with the mortar on the mortar carder. I remember weighing up all our gear, and I think mine was like 126 £126 just in my bone. And for the whole thought of giving up and having to get recoursed, I don't know about. I mean, I know you had to go through the whole recourse thing, but the thought of being recoursed, I couldn't deal with that. I couldn't. It was one of them things where, no, I'm getting through this. There's no way I'm getting put back to do any of that shit that I've just done again. So that was my motivation to get through it, no matter what that pain was. But some of them tabs we went on was unreal. With the weights that were on our backs, like, it was no wonder people went down.
No, I remember because we all had to do the weigh-in, didn't we? Mine was a similar weight to yours, and it was the next day. Oh my God, I could not feel my backside. I couldn't sit down. I had to like lay on my side. Like, it was absolutely horrendous. I mean,
do you remember the cuts that we used to get at the bottom of our backs where we used to rub the skin off to the point where we went out and bought ladies' sanitary towels just to pad the back?
Yeah, there's extremes we went to, aren't there? But needs must.
Yeah, unreal, man. And again, it's another one of them things, and you sit here talking about it and you look back and you think, how I ever did that is unreal.
Yeah.
Because go combat turtle. Do you remember that?
Combat turtle. You have to remind me.
On it's so heavy, you end up on your back like a turtle. It pulls you down. I think it was
I don't remember that.
Eric Telford called it combat turtle. I'm sure it was.
I don't remember that. No, but yeah, I can picture it. That's for sure. So looking into the future, then, where obviously, like you say, you've dealt with a lot of things mentally, and you feel like you're on a better path. What does the future look like for you? What are you doing now or in the future that you're kind of looking forward to?
So I'm starting up my own business, doing house and car locksmithing, key coding for cars, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, went out, got myself a new van yesterday.
Have we got a business name for that? Just a little plug or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm thinking of doing it military based, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was going to call it Veteran Locks, but I'm not actually too sure yet. There was a couple of clever names that I liked, but when I googled it, they were taken up.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Well, this time, Veteran Locks, though, yeah. I mean,
I was going to,
straight away.
Yeah, I was going to have swift entry, no casualties. That's me slogan.
Like it. Got a ring to it.
Yeah.
So that's obviously something you'll keep you occupied, to look forward to. Obviously, wish you the best with that.
Nice one.
Wish you the best with your family and everything like that. So, recreationally, what are you up to now? Do you do anything to
fishing?
Pass the time? So you're not fishing.
Fishing.
Where's that come from?
Out of nowhere, mate. So I've come across people all my life that say, "Oh, come fishing," and I've always been that active person. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not sitting there bored off my head waiting for a rod to go off. Like, I'm not doing it. And then a few years back, when I was working, I've got a very good workmate, and I was talking to him about wanting a hobby to keep my mind going. And he said, "Well, why don't you come fishing with me?" And I thought to myself, do you know what? I've said it all these years that I wouldn't go. I'm going to go. And 4 years later, and thousands of pounds worth of fishing gear, fully deep into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does it give you though? What? Yeah.
It's a reset. So for me, if I feel like anything gets on top of me, or I'm having random mood swings for no reason whatsoever, or I just need a bit of time to myself, I can go fishing for say 24, 48 hours, come home and I feel like a new man, like literally a new man. Like, it completely resets my brain. All the thoughts that were doing my head in have gone. I've just got a new appreciation for everything, really.
That's a huge benefit to have from it, isn't it? To be fair.
It's massive, mate. It's
massive. I can see the appeal there. I can 100% see the appeal. I mean, you talk about saying no to all that kind of thing. Well, something that I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that, and one of them is like a well-being one, mindfulness, all that kind of stuff. And he touches on just saying yes to things that put you out of your comfort zone and stuff like that, and the benefits that can give you. And because it's stuff that you're not familiar with, stuff that can be daunting but exciting, and just say yes to more and more. And you kind of reap the rewards. So obviously in this sense it helps you, but I find I don't do it for everything, but I'll have a thing, say yes to things that I don't particularly like. I actually started doing salsa with my missus about 3 months ago.
Yeah, nice.
Salsa dancing, and I thought there's no chance I'm doing that, but I just thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
I can see that being right up your street as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know what that means, but I'll take it.
Oh, mate, come on. I've seen you throwing your shapes down back in the day.
Yeah, I do. I do like to have a dance, but yeah, no, it just gives me it gives me and my missus a bit of time together that we don't normally have, and yeah, just a bit of freedom from like the normal day to day and stuff like that. I absolutely love it, and don't get me wrong, I'm not great at it, but I'm getting there. You'll sit
Yeah,
when I meet up with you. 15 years in the making. When I meet up with you, I'll show you a few moves. I'll lead you.
yeah, yeah, definitely. We'll
But no, like I said,
clear the dance floor. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
But no, like I say, it's good to try new things, and that's obviously giving you a huge lift when you need it at times.
yeah,
So, fair play. Yeah, fair play. It's something I've never done. Something I've never done, but I might give it a go. Who knows?
I recommend it, mate. I really do. I really do.
Yeah,
Just that time next to the water, just the calmness, the relaxation, and then the buzz when you catch a fish is
yeah,
it's unreal. It's unreal.
yeah. No,
It's unreal.
it sounds great. It sounds like it's really something you connected with, which is
Yeah,
probably what you needed in itself.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it
Yeah,
was another thing. It was. Do you remember Cords? Richard Corden?
yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah.
He's an avid fisherman, and he's doing really well for himself in the fishing industry.
Is
Um,
he?
yeah, and I follow him on Instagram, and he gave me that little bit of a nudge to get on there and keep going with the fishing and stuff like that. And I had a good old chat with him as well about it. Yes. So yeah, I
So
had a chat.
it's kind of proof in the pudding that it can
Yeah,
be helpful to you. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. I mean that's really good. That.
There's so many. How do I call it? Military fishing groups out there. There's charities. I don't know if you've ever heard of Phoenix Heroes.
No, no.
Do you know Rob Hughes? Used to be
Yes.
BT sports presenter. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's ambassador for Phoenix Heroes, and they do
Oh,
fishing events for veterans with mental illnesses, physical illnesses, and just gives them something to keep going. There's a lot of fishing charities to do with the military out there.
right. So it's a big community.
Yeah, it is, especially
Yeah.
within the military as well, which is something I didn't realise.
No, like I've never known. I think the first time I've heard about that is here, and it's not
Mm.
something that I thought was a widespread kind of thing that people would do. But no, I mean,
Yeah,
if you've got that level of support, it's more understanding from people who understand your
Mhm.
situation, and it's all helpful in it. So
Yeah,
right, back to it.
yeah.
I won't keep you much longer. I know we've been on it
You're
a
all right,
while,
mate.
so
You're all
yeah.
right. Been waffling on for long, haven't we?
Well, it's your time, isn't it? It's your time to tell what you need to tell. So, I don't mind that at all. But right, so
Just
you
a
have
quick
that.
one.
Go on.
I don't know whether to say it now or towards the end, but there's lads that were on our basic course, right? So I don't know if you remember, I got the blame for years. I think it was either Acids or Beardy's pillow. Someone broke an egg in their pillow, and I got the blame for it.
Right.
To this day, it weren't me, and I just want people to know that, like, after all these years, I'm still not owning up to it. It weren't me, mate. Like, I got the blame for it, and I still don't know who done it. I'm sure it was Beardy's pillow. We come back off leave,
Oh,
and someone had put an egg in his pillow because then
I can believe
everyone
that.
was saying it was
He rubbed
swinging.
people the wrong way. Did he? He rubbed people the wrong way a few times, didn't he, Beardy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's why we got on.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. No, I don't know. Maybe if someone's listening, they can own up to it after
Yeah,
20 years, whatever it is.
that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. Because yeah, I got the blame and it weren't me. I've always wanted
I
to
dare
know.
say you probably got the blame for quite a few things that weren't you, to be fair, but
Yeah,
that's part of parcel with being a gobshite, isn't it?
yeah, that's it, mate. It is the Cockney wide boy.
So let's go back to the military then, just before we wrap things up. I was going to say, was there any experiences that last more than others? Obviously, we talk about the incident in Basra.
Mhm.
On a lighter note, is there anything that stands out? I mean, we've kind of touched on a lot of funny moments that we've been through and stuff, but is there any other moments that you have like a standout moment for you?
Oh, there's so many, so many.
Yeah.
There's so many. Like I said, we could go on for hours. It's down adventure training, skiing in Austria.
So they're getting banned from drinking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, mate.
falling asleep on the ski lift.
Mate, that was horrendous. Even when we stopped at Ramstein as well, didn't we?
It was, Kaiserslautern we went to, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we stopped at Ramstein on the way there
Yeah,
because we
yeah,
drove on the coach, didn't we? And we all got levered in
yeah.
Ramstein as well. Because I remember, was that you and Evo on the? Was it you and Evo on the coach on the way after Ramstein? So shit faced, it was unreal. Even the next morning, just sat on the back of the coach, dying. Like, yeah, hilarious.
It was a rough drive. It was a rough drive.
Yeah,
I remember we actually went out the night before we were leaving as well, because if you remember, John Stimson,
Stimson,
remember, he nearly missed the coach. I think both nights. Sorry, both mornings.
Yes.
But yeah, it's endless, isn't it? I think I need to stop asking people that, because there's too many in there. There's too many moments.
There is so many good times.
Yeah.
So many good times. And I mean, you don't remember them until obviously you sat with someone like yourself and you start talking about your times and things pop up. And I've heard you talk in your previous episodes and I've sat there and thought, oh yeah, oh my God, I didn't remember that. Like, So yeah, it's mad, but there were so many times.
Is there anyone? Is there anyone who you were close with that you're no longer in contact with that you'd like to know about, or you have any stories about?
Mate, I'd love to have the Three Musketeers back, me, Timo and Cookie. I would, mate. Them two, I loved them, mate. Timo's the bollocks. Cookie was just a man in his own right. He's just the moth, the moth, the wasp.
So a little bit of a background on this. We were on basics, weren't we? We were on basics all together in Field Gunners, and then they separated and went to 51 Squadron in Lossiemouth, while you were posted to 1 Squadron with myself and others. So how did you feel when that happened? Because, like, say, the Three Musketeers, and there's no way of because back then there was no. I think we had Facebook, but there was no real way of getting in touch so regularly, was there, as there is today?
No, not at all. No. Yeah, I was gutted. I mean, there was still all the good lads going to 1 as well, but obviously, like you say, it was me, Timo, and Cookie. Like the three of us. I was gutted, mate. But I mean, they come down to Honington a couple of times for training. So obviously, where we had to stay at Honington, we always went out on the lash when they come down. So yeah, it was always good. Always good.
You'd like to reach out to them then, maybe, and you stayed in touch with them since?
Timo come down. It's got to be nearly 6-7 years ago now. Probably longer than that. But I mean, I went through rough stages where I didn't want to talk to people because I felt a bit ashamed about the situation I was in. Because I put myself in that situation. I know, obviously, I did that. So I felt a little bit embarrassed, ashamed. So in a way, it could be my fault that I've lost contact with a lot of people because I didn't want them to know what sort of life I was leading. Do you know, like, yeah, I mean, it's because, like I said, it's frowned upon, isn't it? It's zero tolerance for drugs in the armed forces. So you get kicked out for it and you're happy about it. People look at you and just think, what dickhead, why'd you even bother in the first place? But assumptions and judgments are made, aren't they, without hearing stories. And but yeah, it's just my own opinions, really, of how other people feel about things, that how I feel affected the reactions and stuff. Like, it's weird. It's very complex, if you like.
It is. But I've mentioned that I did something very similar, and it took me a long time to kind of accept what I was and where I was, and reach out to people and stuff like that. And it's difficult. It's stuff that you have to deal with yourself, because nobody can get you out of that. And I was lucky in the sense, similar to you, I'd imagine, with you and your partner, me and my wife. She gave me a grounding and support that I never knew I needed, really. And then went from there. And then I've reached out, started this to try and help people, not just in the RAF Regiment. I mean, I want anyone to get involved. I'm happy to talk to anyone and stuff like that. So in that sense, I think this is helping me. I hope that, you know, speaking to you has helped you in a way to get your opinion and your voice out there, and, you know, let people understand what you've been through and what you're still going through and what we all have to deal with. Is there anything, the last thing I'll ask, is there anything you would change about your time in, or would you do anything differently?
You know, I'd like to say I would never have joined up. But growing up and being who I am now, I feel everything happens for a reason. So if I hadn't have joined up, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I wouldn't, because I'm happy and content with my life now. And this is where I want to be. So if I hadn't have joined up, maybe I wouldn't be here. So I try not to have regrets. But I mean, yeah, I'd keep my mouth shut is probably the answer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been that little.
I get that, but I mean, I think that's the ignorance of youth, isn't it? I don't think you can really be blamed for that. I think anyone joining up and put into that scenario and environment is going to be, not everyone, because obviously people's personas are different. You're, you're outspoken, you're quite energetic, as you say. So you could rub people up the wrong way, but I don't think there was anything ever. I don't think there were ever bad intentions or anything like that. So I don't think you need to really worry on that. It's just people misunderstand other people, and everyone's different. But no, I appreciate that. I appreciate your time, James, and I obviously wish you absolutely nothing but the best in the future for you and your family, and good luck with the business. Good luck with the fishing. I'll put it over to you. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or say, or anything over to you?
I'm happy to have been speaking to you now. I mean, we were battle buddies through Basra. So I hold you in quite high regard as quite a good friend. Even if you do owe me about 800 fags.
You ain't getting them at this price, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's been really good. I mean, even watching your other episodes, listening to Stino, and I'd like to see some of the other lads we were on basics with getting in touch with you and doing the same. And yeah, I feel like we all need to get together again, all of us. It's been far too long. I know you lot have, but I weren't in the position, or like I said, ashamed, embarrassed of where I was in my life. Didn't want to share those details.
Yeah, well, I don't want to preach or anything, but after what you've shared and after all the shit that you've been through, you should hold your head up high, mate, and be proud of where you are and, how you've turned out. You've been through a lot. You're going to go through a lot for the rest of your life, but, you can still smile, and that's an amazing trait to have. And like I say, I genuinely wish you all the best for the future, and we will stay in touch, and we'll try and make some get together happen in the future. But in the meantime, I'll stay in touch with you anyway. And again, I really appreciate your time, and thanks for everything. All right, mate.
Yeah, not a problem, Wayne. Nice one.
Cheers. I'll see you later.
See you later.
So thanks for listening. If you want to get in touch, add to the comments on Spotify. I'll respond to any questions or queries. You can get in touch with me on my email, contact@slightlyforgotten.com. Reach out, follow me, share me everything that you want to do, and let's grow this thing together and make it a good thing for everyone. All right, see you next time. Take care.